What's up, guys? It's Lunatic, coach of the Brookhaven Internet, and this is the end of season draft, like season recap, where I talk about how I feel about the mons, how I feel about how the season went, and all that. So I'm gonna go in order if I can find it. Why is it not working? Alright, well I remembered what I drafted kind of. So I'm gonna talk about the mons in the order that I drafted them. So first up is Nihilego. It's definitely a questionable round 1 pick, and I mean that's kind of how I drafted. I drafted questionably. Last season I first round picked Mimikyu, but that was a little different because Mimikyu was my favorite mon of the gen, so I really wanted to try it out. But Nihilego is definitely something that was a bit of an odd one. Last season it went undrafted, and then Carlos picked it up mid-season as a free agent. So, it's kind of strange, but been a fun mon. Definitely around the mid-season where it picked up, it put in a lot of work. And Nihiligo's a good mon. Overall, the problem my team had. Well, you know what? I'll just talk about the next one and kind of explain it together. I'm gonna skip to my 4th round pick. 4th round pick was Hoopa. Now I said it in my draft analysis that it was an early pick, but I did really want to use it. The problem with getting Nihilego and Hoopa is in terms of stat distribution and their jobs, they're pretty similar. They both have decent HP stats and then massive special attack and special defense stats. Nihilego having a lower defense and higher speed, whereas Hoopa has a lower speed and then a decent physical attack stat. It's I was able to use both of them, and yes, with different typings, they can be brought to different games. But then looking at the rest of my team, it didn't feel good. So jumping back, Zygarde 10%, Zydog. So of course, last season, neither Zygarde went drafted because we were ignorant. This season, I was like, I want a Zygarde, and I want the dog because it's really fast. And the big Zygarde, it's 95 speed, which is okay, but it's not. It can be a wall breaker with band thousand arrows, but it's not like a Cure in Black. So I was like, I want the speed. In terms of attack, I mean, they both have the same base stat of 100, so if I wanted to run band, it would be doing the same job. The issue with Zydog is you can't do certain things that Zygarde 50 does. Zygarde 50 can do everything that Zydog can do, but Zydog can't do everything Zygarde 50 can do. The only thing Zygarde has over it is the speed. Zygarde 50 can run DD, Coil, Substitute, which are all pretty good sets for it, and it's bulky. It's really bulky. In my last match against Carlos, one of the calcs I was running was Diggersby, his Fire Punch, because there was a Virizion and a Scizor, Mega Scizor. So I wanted to click Fire Punch. I was debating between Fire Punch and Return. The damage to an offensive Zygarde, Fire Punch did maybe 14%. So just that natural bulk. Very, very naturally bulky. And Zydog is just super frail. It didn't feel good to use. It was very underwhelming. Now, does that mean it should be a tier 3 mon? I don't know. But it definitely did not feel nowhere near as good as I thought it would feel. Next up, Fortress. Again, Fortress, very, very early round pick. But I did enjoy using Fortress quite a bit. It was my main physically defensive mon. I only had one other mon that was semi-physically defensive. So a lot of pressure was on Fortress. One thing that I had fun with was with the introduction of the 50% barriers. I ran that a couple times on Fortress, so when it got knocked down to 30, boom, up to half health again. Yeah, Fortress was good. I don't know much to say on it. I guess I'll talk about its partner. Actually, that's the next one because I talked about Hooper earlier. My round 5 pick was the Rotom Wash. Fortress Rotom Wash, I think, paired up very, very nicely together. The issue was that they were my only defensive mons in my entire draft. So, heavily reliant on them. Rotom Wash, and another thing with Rotom Wash is because all the pressure was on Wash and Fortress to be the defensive mons, I couldn't ever really run an offensive Rotom Wash. I couldn't run like a Scarf Trick, Specs Trick, just a fast Volt Switcher. I was always running Will-O-Wisp on it. I ran Pain Split a lot, and then like Volt Switch and Hydro. That's basically my set every week. Swap out Pain Split for T-Bolt in some instances. And then its item would be Leftovers, like every time. There was one time I ran the 50% on it. That was against Geo. And I mean, it worked out amazingly there. But it was forced to be defensive. And that's something that, you know, you in a good draft, you shouldn't feel like a versatile mon should be stuck in one role. That's why, you know, when someone drafts like Mew, you need to draft things that can do what Mew does. So like, you need to draft hazard removal, so Mew's not your only one. Or hazard setup, so Mew's not your only one. Setup sweepers, so Mew's not your only one. With like Sword Stance. Stuff like that. So yeah, Rotom was very limited on my team. But it did do well. It did do well. Next up, Hydreigon. Hydreigon, it's a good mon. But in the first like half of the season, it felt like shit. It felt like I couldn't do anything with it. It never worked. I felt like if I was gonna bring it, I had to bring Scarfed. Like the matchup, I don't know if it was that I wasn't comfortable with it yet, or if genuinely like the first half of the season it didn't have good matchups. But I definitely started getting more of a feel for it later on in the season. And again, especially in the game against Geo, I picked up 4 kills. It just swept at the end, which was really, really cool. It is something that I would want to try again. I don't think next season though. But like the thing with this team is, I did like the idea of the dual dragon, because Zygarde 10 is kind of not a dragon because it's mostly spamming 1,000 arrows. So I was really happy picking up that second dragon. Then I eventually did drop Psydog, so it's good that I had a backup dragon. But its issue, kind of with my team as a whole, is the speed. The dragon doesn't have a bad speed, but when the rest of your team is slow as fuck, you know, someone could just run a Scarfer just to outpace Hydreigon or something. My mons may have had like type synergy and stuff, but role synergy, it wasn't good. Next up, I picked up Whimsicott. I like the idea of it. And definitely early, like when I drafted it, I was like, Whimsicott's gonna be the perfect counter to Zygarde when I face Carlos. And then later on in the season, from watching some battle, I learned Zygarde gets Sludge Wave. And definitely disappointing. Whimsicott did put in work in a couple matches, getting up Tailwind, and I think that's all it did. I think all it did was that Tailwind. I did not use it that great, really. It came to maybe 4 matches. 4? I don't know. But I know in some of those it didn't do anything. So it was kind of a letdown. I had higher hopes for it. And again, lack of team role synergy. So like Whimsicott would be really good with like a setup sweeper where it can set up a light screen or something, and then you go into your setup mon. Memento is also another thing to get you into a setup mon, stuff like that. I'm not really used to playing with setup mons, and that's something I do want to start learning how to use, because that's definitely really important with the likes of women. Like I shouldn't be trapped in Whimsicott unless I'm going for setup. What else did it do? Subseed. I brought that against Carlos in playoffs, and it never got to work. Next, Blaziken. Blaziken. Holy shit! Did I enjoy using Blaziken when I got to use it? My only complaint, I guess complaint about Blaziken is that most of the time I was running special, and I think that goes back to I was running special so I can have an offensive grass move. So I ran Z Sunny Day and had Solar Beam, and another week I ran just Z Solar Beam. Of course, you know, the against Sniper, the mix set was really good because I caught the Skarmory off guard with Flamethrower. But I kind of had to do that because my grass type wasn't very offensive at all. Whimsicott has only base 77 special attack. So it's not a huge threat, and it gets Energy Ball, which is a base 80 or 90 move, which is okay. It's no shame in Seed Flare at 120, you know. But Blaziken was fun. Definitely something I would draft again. I think almost every mon of this draft I would want to draft again, except Zydog. But they would have to be separated because it can't be together. My 9th round pick was Mega Heracross. Now, yeah, during the draft, I was like, do I really want to pick up a second fighting type? You know, I just picked up Blaziken. But, you know, me being me, holding off my Mega for so long, I was limited. But Mega Heracross was definitely fun to use. It did have a little bit of support with Whimsicott, with Tailwind support. But I think I needed a little more. The thing with Mega Heracross, it's a mon that you have to build around. And because I drafted it so late and it wasn't in my plan, I did not do that. There are some Megas that you don't really have to build around. You could have stuff like maybe Mega Lopunny and Mega Metacham. They kind of do their own thing, I think. But what do I know? What else? What other Megas do you just not have to like try? I mean, Mega Venusaur you don't have to build around too much. Just have stuff that can take Flying and Psychic. And besides that thing's bulky enough to like live on its own. Mega Heracross needs to be built around. And I didn't. One thing of note with my team was that I had 3 mons that had quad weaknesses, which just on sight I thought was a good thing because that forced my opponent to run one of 3 hidden powers. Hidden power Flying, Ice, or Fire. But you know, that didn't really work like that. You know, just on paper it looked like, oh, I'm forcing my opponents to do this, but in reality, not really. But Mega Heracross, it wasn't actually built around. And also, HP Fire covers 2 of those options, and Zygarde Frail. So, yeah, it wasn't actually that good. Next up, Articuno. Do I regret drafting it? No, I don't. Were there better things I could have drafted? Yes. Were there better options where I could split the typing of Ice and Flying into 2 different things? Probably. But I didn't because Articuno was my last pick of the draft. I forgot that I did franchise. So, looking at the deck right now. But Articuno, it put in work sometimes. I think having an ice type on a team is valuable because ice is a good offensive typing. But Articuno does get walled out pretty easily. Also, I misread its speed when I was going to draft it. I read it as 95, but it's 85. That was a letdown. My plan, I wanted to draft Articuno way before the draft happened, and I was going to make it a Z captain because I assumed we were going to do 3 Z captains. But after discussion, unfortunately, it dropped to 2, which means I couldn't make it a Z captain. But I still went through with drafting it just because at that point in my draft, it was still good for my team. However, my franchise really fucked me over. The franchise was the Empoleon. It was free, so I didn't lose anything from it. But the reason it fucked me over was because it didn't synergize with my draft plan. It was just kind of there because I like there's a stealth rocker and a defogger, and I don't have to want to worry about that because I've done that before where I go too heavy on hazard control. So I was like, I'm gonna franchise this. So when I go through my draft, I don't really have to worry about it. It was gonna be Empoleon, Fortress, and then maybe one other thing. Cause right there, 2 rockers, a defogger, and a spinner. I don't have to really worry about hazards. However, Empoleon just really didn't work with the team. There was, in terms of team synergy, when I was building each week, Rotom just fit the team better than Empoleon, like almost every week. Empoleon came to maybe 1 game. I'll check that right now, actually. Empoleon came to 1. It came to 2 games. 3 games. I'm a dirty liar. Did it do much in them? I don't remember. What was this one? I don't know. Did Rotom Wash come in these games? Rotom Wash came in one of those with the Empoleon. I don't know. Empoleon it didn't work out. And next season, you know, I didn't win, so I won't be getting a free franchise. However, even if I were to, I don't think there's anything on this team that I would want to franchise. I think I just need to go in, well, maximize my points and just focus on speed tiers. I feel like with my drafts, I miss out on something. I'm like, alright, focus on this, and that, and then I missed out on this other thing. I thought I kind of had my speed tiers good enough because I had Zydog at 115, Whimsicott at 116, and then Nihilego at 103, Hydreigon at 98, and then some of like my slower mons. I didn't realize how infrequently I was going to bring Zydog and Whimsicott. A lot of the time it's brought as a more bulky mon, so I wasn't maximizing the speed on that. So if something could like take on whatever moves I had for Prankster, like another grass type, then it was just getting outsped. So my speed was definitely a really big issue with this team. Really big issue that I didn't realize till later on when I made my transaction. So I guess I'll talk about those now. I dropped the Zydog and Empoleon for Diggersby and Smeargle. So when I'll talk about Smeargle first. When I first got Smeargle, I was just completely overwhelmed. Because I was like, what the fuck do I run on this? How do you use this mon? Like, I know it's typically a hazard lead and all that shit. But I was like, okay, but I want to be a little creative with it. There was 1 week. 1 week I was creative with it. That was my week against Storm. I ran Max Attack Adamant, Technician Excel Rock for his Zard Y, and that did 50% to it. He did not bring his Zard Y, so it didn't matter, but I was so happy to have come up with that, and it didn't work. And besides that, Smeargle was just like Sash and Hazard. That's all it was. What I could have done, holy shit, I just realized I could have been a god and ran Mental Herb against Carlos. Is it Mental Herb? Yeah, Mental Herb. Because I was thinking, he could just bring Taunt. And, Smeargle lead's pretty obvious. But shit. Hindsight. I'm not mad about it. I like I've mentioned, I was on tilt. But definitely I've come down from it. I took the loss fine. I was like, going into it, I was like, this is a hard matchup. If I lose, there's nothing wrong with it. Carlos, well, the matchup itself was difficult for me. And Carlos is a good battler. So, if I lose, nothing of it. It's fine. I was champion last season. It's fine if I don't get it twice in a row. This game's for fun. Get to try out new mons. I found a lot of mons that I enjoy, that I would draft in the future. Just, this wasn't the season for me to win. Yeah, Smeargle. I don't want that shit again. It could be that Webb's lead, dude, but it's I didn't like it. I knew, because people never ran it offensively, I knew its stats weren't good, but holy shit, I didn't know they were that bad. Base like 20 attack. Shit. That's so bad. But yeah. And lastly, Diggersby. Diggersby had such high hopes for it. In the playoff game against Carlos, it actually kind of did stuff. After three games of bringing it, brought against Justin, didn't get to do anything. Brought against Carlos week 11, didn't get to do anything. And then in the playoffs match, it finally got to do something. It got 2 kills, I believe. I returned the Archeops kill, and then I fire punched the Brazion. So it got 2 kills. Oh my god, I just wanted it to do something. I know it's a good mon, and on paper, it could have, but just the way the situation unfolded, it didn't allow for it. Because it really could have. It's crazy that if just one thing went this other way, Diggersby could have put in massive work in those other 2 matches. Even the last one, it kind of did. And to be fair, it was a max roll for a max roll. So I can't really be mad about that at all. But shit, dude, such high hopes for it. I was so excited to use Diggersby. And it hit so hard. But fuck, man. If I were to choose one mon to draft again next season, I think it would. Just I wanted it to do something. Diggersby didn't let me down. Just the game let me down. Diggersby, you did nothing wrong. You tried. You really did. Especially in playoffs, you said, I'm gonna do something, and you killed that Brazion with a max roll. Fuck, man. At the time that this is happening, what is it, in the P4G, A-Drive was using Diggersby, and he's using it so well. It's done so much for him, and I'm here. It didn't do shit. Against Justin, I don't think it literally didn't do anything. Oh no, it got a quick attack off and died, and it didn't kill with a quick attack. And then against Carlos week 11, it just died because I was bluffing his scarf. Well, quote unquote bluffing his scarf. I wasn't. I just brought it in because I had nothing. So it really only got to do something 1 week. It was disappointing. Yeah, it sucked. It sucks that happened, not that Diggersby sucks. Diggersby, good man. Yeah, I wish, dude. Yeah. It was an unfortunate season. Considering the issues with my team, though, I do think I played well. I ended 7-4. And if you're gonna just that wasn't hacked. If you wanna like revoke and give games for hacks, then I actually went 8-3. Cause I lost 2 games to hacks and I won 1 because of hacks. Actually, okay. Let me bring that up. Let me go through the game. Week 1 against Destin. Shit, what happened? Did he crit me? I don't remember. I think he crit me. I think that's how he won, because I would have won if he didn't. Actually, I mean, it still came down to landing hydro pumps. But my Rotom was behind a light screen, and then he crit me through it. I remember. Week 2, Zygarde 10 crit with Jacob Serena. He could have trap kicked me, and then it would have been a matter of if I broke the confusion. Because if I did, then I still won. Next up, week 3 against Dave. That was the most fucking stressful game of my life. That shit felt neck and neck the entire time. If he didn't run the same fucking sets every week, then he would have won, because Latios was just like 4 attacks, I'm pretty sure. If he had Roost on that, I lost. Easily. But yeah, that was against Dave. Definitely, it was definitely a difficult matchup, and I ended up coming through with it. Week 4 against Sniper, I played the fuck out of him. Week 5, I played against Joel. What happened this game? What happened against Joel? I don't remember. Pretty sure I fucked him though. Against Seth. This one I started like using the Heliga. I brought it against Shiny, and then it took a break, and then look at that mid-season. You can't see this. I brought it in Heliga 3 games in a row, took a break, and then another 2. No, that's Joel. Against Seth. I don't remember. I think that was in the Heligo sweep, I feel like. Against Colton, Articuno, next. Geo, easy. Storm, we don't talk about it. Justin. He brought Combustion over Magearna. Carlos, the team matchup was terrible. Just absolutely terrible. And then I tried again, and I still didn't come through with it. Yeah. That Sludge Wave play, again, it was him reading me, and I thought of it, and I wanted to scout it, but again, I didn't want to take damage on my other mods. I needed everything else healthy. So, it sucked. Really, really sucked. And I never got to Willow the Scizor. But yeah, I mean, after week 10, having those 2, 1 unlucky game and 1 getting shit on game, I was like, alright, time to just plan for next season. So I have plans already. You know, I'll actually end up with, you know, Mons over base 100. The Wimblycat kind of doesn't count, and my only other one was Nihiliga at 103. So I'm gonna try to have more than 1 Mon that's viably over 100 speed. Maybe draft better bulk, because again, I just had Fortress Rotom. That was my bulk. Yeah. I don't know what else to say. I loved a lot of these mons individually. And I guess, I mean, that's kind of what I've been doing. I've been just drafting mons that I haven't used before and seeing how I like them. And I think it's time to like settle down. I've had a good sample pool of the mons that I like to use, so I'm gonna try focusing on, you know, incorporating mons I haven't used with mons that I have, and not just using a bunch of mons I haven't. Because I've never used Diggersby, Fortress, Hoopa, Smeargle, Hydreigon, Nihilego, Zydog, Blaziken, Articuno, Smeargle, you know, Mega Heracross. Like, the only thing I've used really, Empoleon, Whimsicott, and then, I mean, Rotomosh. If you play, like, Showdown ever, you've used the Rotomosh. Before this gen, because now you don't see it really. But before this gen, if you played Showdown, you used Rotomosh. So, a lot of new mons. But I'm going to try and settle down now. And, you know, I'm really looking forward to the next season. I think it'll be fun. We're going to be getting someone from the D League, potentially two from the D League. They get to move up. That'll be exciting. Because like with Justin, yeah, he had a rough start, but he definitely brought it back, and that, you know, a competitive environment, and it's been fun having him around. So I've been talking for a very long time. That's how I feel about the team. I'm saying a lot because I'm out of stuff to say really. I mean, Hoopa. One thing I do want to say about Hoopa. Okay, I do have one thing to say about Hoopa. I did not give a damn about Hoopa until before the draft, when I started looking at it and then actually drafting it. I think Hoopa was my favorite mon to use, and having support for it, it would have been so much more. But Hoopa, I think I would say, was my favorite mon on the team, along with Articuno, of course, because I have to shout out Articuno. Everyone was like, really? Especially Carlos, but unfortunately Articuno literally got 1v1 by everything on Carlos's team. So I couldn't bring it against him to make a statement. It's literally just a 6v5 at that point. But yeah, okay. I'm for real, I'm done talking.